Happy New Year's, Menlo Club members. This month is a very special month. Our theme is committing, setting goals, and becoming a better version of ourselves. We're adding a challenge this month that we've done for the last 2 years. We're challenging our members to run or walk 75 miles in the entire month of January. And if you do so, I'll personally give you a $50 gift card to our e-com store. So please join us. You don't have to be a member to do this competition. We just want everyone to be active, come together as a community, and start the year the right way. And finally, this month, our crew is gonna be running around the country Forrest Gump style. We're gonna try to hit all of our most popular cities. We're gonna do meetups, we're gonna run some miles, maybe have some tequila. So come join us. It's an incredible, incredible time, and get to meet some of the other members. And even if you're not a member, come out and run with us. We just want everyone to be active and meet cool people.
January is Grand AC month. We're all running 75 miles.
If you're not running it, bro, I don't even want to look at you.
Let's go, 2019. We're here in Santa Monica, California in blistering cold December to talk with a good friend of ours, Charlie, who, it's really interesting. Right before I met him 2+ years ago, and through a cold email you had sent me, and we connected and we planned to meet, and I'd asked a mutual friend of ours, Anthony Saleh, and he doesn't say this often. Great fucking guy. Right before this meeting, I was talking to our head of customer service. I'm like, can you look up Charlie's email account? I want to see how long he's been a member.
How long have I been a member?
39 months.
Woo! 39 months!
And that's what I think like people mistake in the things that we are all part of, these communities we are creating, that there's amazing people among us and we don't even recognize it. We're actually all going through similar things and we don't even realize it. And amongst us, there are superheroes. How do I describe you to people?
Man, if I knew how to describe it, I was hanging out with this old guy the other day. He said, man, what do you do? I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
I'm like,
what an open-ended question.
I'm like, okay, I'm like this, like, inspirational / aspirational athlete. Like right here, for example. Like, I trained right here for a year to do an Ironman, which I did in New Zealand. It took me 16 hours and 41 minutes to complete. I'm an elite athlete, but I'm not really like an elite athlete. I'm kind of like the common man athlete.
Yeah.
So I like live a journey to like show people what I'm going through. The good stuff is inspirational. The bad stuff is like inspirational too, because it shows people like, oh, like there's somebody who is just like me.
I look at, you know, at 28 to say, I'm gonna go become an athlete. How did you like get on to set that goal? Like what forced you to, or what made you want to do that?
Man, I tapped back into being a kid. You know, kids have imaginations, and then as we grow up, we forget. We form a measuring stick. Like, you know, a kid is gonna be like, I wanna be a policeman in space.
Yeah.
Actually, a kid wrote that on my tour bus.
Wow.
It was a Dream Machine tour bus when I'm biking across America, and the kid came up and wrote on it. Like a 5-year-old kid. I'm gonna be a policeman in space. And we're sitting there laughing like, oh, that's cute, you know, like, oh, you dream big, whatever. Like,
go for it.
Guess what happened 2 months later? President Trump announces a space force. The kid knew all along. I'm like, holy boo-boo. Like, the kid somehow knew, but that was his dream. But when we're kids, we have imaginations, and imaginations are how amazing things are created. But as we get older, we get realistic. And then when I was 305 pounds, diagnosed with brain tumor, sitting somewhere out here depressed, just looking at the ocean for 8 hours, just trying to figure out my life, I just had to be reminded of my 8-year-old dream. And actually, 20 steps that way, I filmed a Nike commercial, okay?
Crazy.
A fan-made Nike commercial. Right there is the final scene where I say in the commercial, I had to go back to my 8-year-old dream, and this kid walks up to me, hands me a pair of sunglasses, and then I say, I will be an athlete. This was super quantum. That kid's name was actually Charlie. The kid who we just got to like hand me sunglasses, what's your name? He said, Charlie. I said, that's my name too. And it was metaphorical that he was handing me the sunglasses that gave me the superpower, but it reminded me to go back to my 8-year-old dream, because our hearts have intelligence. Our hearts just know what's best for us.
Yeah.
Instinctively, we know to say, follow this thing down here, because this has the intelligence that's good for us, where this will play tricks on us. This is good too. We got to master this, but this will play tricks on us. So that 8-year-old dream, before we learn what's realistic, before we learn what society or norms are, this is doing the talking.
Yeah.
And that's what I had to tap back into.
Prior to that moment, did you used to set goals?
Oh yeah.
And
business goals.
Business goals. Why weren't you setting personal goals?
I would, but I dealt with addiction. And business for me was a cover-up of an insecurity. When I was young, I wanted to be an athlete. I love basketball.
Yeah.
But I needed something to be good at. I was covering up my insecurity of my weight. I was covering up my insecurity of being social. Like, I'd be afraid to go to the high school football game on Friday night. So I would cover that up with, oh, I'm grinding.
Yeah.
Now, it made me very successful, but business became a trigger.
Yeah.
Where stress led to food. Deal making, like business meetings and going to lunch or dinner, led to food. Yeah. And then success and celebration led to food. So every part of my day was a trigger for my food addiction. And that's why, I mean, I wish I was strong enough to figure it out while still running my music business of managing 2 Chainz and, you know, other artists. But I had to bow out to save my life.
How did you go about, when you did that transition of like, I'm gonna go do this, and I'm gonna go become an athlete? Is that something you literally write down on a piece of paper?
Yeah. All right, can we go down a rabbit hole?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so when I learned about quantum physics, it fascinated me. So I'll give like a kindergarten version of what quantum physics is and how I was able to achieve my goals. Like one of my crazy goals I would write down in my quantum possibilities notebook was, I'm gonna be in a commercial with LeBron James and Serena Williams.
Like you wrote that down?
All the time. I knew it was gonna happen. I wanted to be a Nike athlete. Nike wants me, like, now look at me. Like, okay guys, like I'm not exactly supposed to be.
If I was working at Nike, I'd be like, I don't know about this guy.
But I believed and I would write it down, and I was in a commercial with LeBron James and Serena Williams. It was a Colin Kaepernick commercial. I actually titled the commercial for Nike, Dream Crazy.
Wow.
The whole thing came about it. But I never had any relationships with Nike, but I would write it down. I'd write it down every day. Nike wants to work with me. I will be in a commercial. Nike loves my ideas. I would just write it down. And that's how I'm able to do crazy things. Like, I remember when 2 Chainz called me the day the Nike commercial came out. He said, "You took my superpowers." And I actually know what he means, because it is superpowers. He was always able to do it his whole life. Like he would always tell me, "Charlie, I have superpowers." I'm like, crazy, crazy, what you talking about? But I would literally see him say something was gonna happen, and then boom, it would happen. Yeah. And then boom, I started doing it, and he witnessed. He said, "You took my superpowers." Yeah. I was like, yeah man, everything you were talking about all those years, I get now. It's Charlie Rocket here. I wanna challenge you to do the Grand AC 75-mile challenge in January. I'm doing it. I'm trying to get the last little 30, 40 pounds off, so I know it's really gonna help me. Let's do it together.